In this video, we will review making the bail and breaking the neck in a simple wire-wrapped cabochon piece. So I have recreated the project if you watched the original wire wrapping a cabochon to the point where we're at the bail. And so what I have is I used 3 wires. I like this one to come up a little more, around the sides of the piece and finished them off together, connecting them 3 across on each side, nice and flat. And then from the top, you can see I took, and these were all 3 on this side, 3 on that side, and I took the front and back wire on each side and just pushed them down into kind of spider legs. Okay, getting them out of the way. And I took the center 2 pieces and I just pulled them up a few times, laying them nice and flat together. And one of the things with, this is square wire. We may have used round in the other video. I don't remember, honestly. I'm kind of doing this on the fly. But in this one, I'm using square. So when I look at the square, it's easy for the square to rotate. And so I want to make sure that this top surface is flat and even all the way up. Okay, so the wire, the live wire that we used to connect all of the sides here is underneath the spider legs. See that? But I need to bring it up. So I'm just going to bring it up here and just kind of slip it in here. Okay, I'm just slipping it in there. And then I'm going to hold the stone and I'm going to hold the live wire really tight, making sure that the dome side is facing me and the flat side of the wire is facing these 2 bail wires that we're going to cover. And so I'm just going to, with my pointer and thumb fingers, I'm going to hold it kind of tight and allow the wire to move through it as I rotate the stone in order to wrap the 2 bail wires. And I'm only going to do a few at a time because, again, we want to make sure, sorry about the noise, that the wires are compressed and that these 2 wires aren't going over each other or rotating. And I'm just going to give them a little squeeze. Nothing too tight, nice and easy. And I'm going to keep going. So how far am I going to go? Well, if I look at the piece from the front, you want to think, how high do you want your bail? I might want to go a little more because it's going to be rounded and arced back. And then you're going to double that because it needs to cover the back and come down equally. And so I'm just going to keep going. Now, sometimes I'll just do the whole amount that I have here. And if I need to take some off, I take some off. Now, in the original video, we used the extra length of the half round to bind the bail to the piece. And I'm going to do it a little different in this one. Some of you may find it a little easier, and that way you'll have both options. And I just lost a light. Oh, hold on 1 second. Second light to the rescue. Not quite as bright. All right. I'm just going to finish this off. It's probably going to be too long. But all right. And then if you have a little extra tail, you want to clip it to the inside of the bail. So if I'm holding the piece towards me, the inside would be the back. And I'm just going to compress these a little bit and give them a little squeeze. Okay, so here's the front of our piece. I'm going to rotate it now to my right. So I'm going to turn it on its side this way so that the front of the piece is facing my right. And I'm going to put my fingers at the top of those bail wires that we just wrapped. And I'm just going to gently bring it down a rough 90-degree angle. You can take your pliers and go squeeze, but you run the risk of adding some damage and tension. Sometimes it will it will turn a little this way. And so you just kind of go back in there and just kind of even it out. Light pressure. I'm not squeezing real hard with the pliers. I'm just trying to realign things because things get a little wonky. Okay, so I'm going back to putting the front of the piece to my right, okay? And I'm going to take a pair of bail pliers or barrel nose pliers. It's kind of hard because the camera is really close, but one is a little bigger than the other. And I'm going to put the larger one on the outside and the smaller one on the top. And I'm sorry that I can't get this a little higher. And then I'm going to take these wires and wrap them over that plier, okay? And now I need to break the neck, so I'm just holding the piece, and I'm going to take my wrist and give it the wrist of the hand that's holding the plier and give it a little twist. I'm going to press these together. Now you can leave this flat in the back. A lot of people like to leave it flat. They feel it sits really nice and flat. Or you can also break the neck in the back, which simply means I put the plier in, I bring it around, and I go kink, and just give it a little kink. And see now how it has that rounded bit in the back? And you can even refine the front at this time too, and just go kink. And there you have it. You can see that it's nice and round. Takes practice, okay? I've been doing this for, probably 15 years with wire, and I've been a bench jeweler for, since I was in my 20s, and you don't want to know how old I am. So it's been a while. So give yourself time to practice and learn. And so I'm just going to fiddle with this to get it to sit where I want. And know that you'll always have to do that. You're always going to have to fiddle with it. There's my dog going, why is your door closed? Okay. And so what I've done here is I've taken the long wires that were going down the back, right? They're the ends of the bail wires. And I pushed them through to the front. See that? I pushed them through right from the back to the front. Okay, so now the piece again, the front is facing me, and I'm going to take the wire on the right, and I'm just going to bend it to the back, bend it straight to the back. One on the left, bending it straight to the back. Okay, so it looks like this. This is going to secure the bail, and you can, it's really hard because this camera is so close. You can squeeze this in a little tighter if you want. And then I'm going to take these wires and I'm going to trim them up a little bit. Right there. And then I'm going to take a pair of needle nose pliers and just turn them to the inside. Okay? So I'm just putting them on the inside of the piece, turning them in, pressing them together. And so that's going to secure your bail. Nice and easy. Okay, we've got all this room. Now, I'm not so worried about this being seen or that being seen because you can do all kinds of things here with these wires in order to hide those. And so I'm thinking with this one, I'm probably going to do a little weaving work on these two wires. And they're going to come across like this, and there'll be weaves through here, and so you won't see those any longer. And so those are just some ideas of things you could do. I will be having a wire weave class coming up on my website, Wire and Stones, probably mid-January, and that will also be recorded and live. So you can check that out too if you want to learn about weaving. You can also take these up like this and move them across and bring them in. It's kind of a pretty way to kind of hide that and add some effects. Just kind of, allow yourselves to start with the instruction, but finish them the way you want to finish them. It's totally okay if you don't get it and you kind of, feel like you're hacking it and doing this or that, but you made it work. That's perfect. That's the way you should do it. So here's just an idea of some things I could do with this one moving forward. I hope that this helped. If you have any further questions, just let me know.